Hello, and welcome to TD's Pokemon Lair. I'm TD, and this is the Lair. Today, we're unboxing a box of 10 Pokemon cards I sent to PSA to be graded, and I got them back in this box, professionally packaged so they got here safe and sound. Let me get them out of the box, and let's see what grades we got. Alright, let's go! This card is a 1999 Pokemon Fossil Set Arbok, a first edition, the number 31 card of the set. Look in the front of the surface of this Arbok, you can see it's very clean. There's no creases or bends. Looking at our centering, which is one of the things we need to look at, left to right, I think it's pretty close to the tolerance, and top to bottom looks a little towards the top. Our corners and our edges look very clean. I don't see any damage on them that'll affect a grade. Let's flip the card over and look at the back of the card. We'll start with our centering from left to right. It is definitely a little bit towards the right, probably taking us out of the top spec. Our centering from top to bottom is slightly towards the top. Looking at our surface, there's no creases or bends or any damage. Looking at our corners and our edges, the two right corners have some slight damage. That's going to get us a grade of near mint 8. Not too bad for an old card. We are looking at a 1999 Pokemon Fossil Set Cloyster, a first edition card, the number 32. Looking at the front surface of this card, there's no creases or bends. The graphics are very vibrant and bright. Looking at our centering from top to bottom, it's slightly towards the top, and our centering from left to right is towards the right. Our corners and edges look really nice, though. I don't see any problems there. As we turn to the back of the card, our surface is free of creases and bends. There's no problems with the graphics. Looking at our centering from left to right, it's towards the left, and our centering from top to bottom is slightly towards the top, I think, and our corners and our edges, there's some slight damage on both top corners and some damage on that lower left corner. And we'll receive a grade of near mint 8. Wow, that's not bad. You're looking at a 1999 Pokemon Fossil Set Gastly, the number 33 card, a first edition. The front surface of this card is free of bends or creases. There's no dirt or damage on the graphics. Our centering from top to bottom, I think, is slightly towards the top. Centering from left to right, I think, is within the tolerance. Our corners and our edges look very clean. I don't see any damage on them that might affect a grade. Flipping the card over and looking at the back, we'll start with our centering from top to bottom. It's slightly towards the top. Centering from left to right looks quite a bit towards the left. Our corners and our edges, looks like all four corners have some slight damage. There is no creases or bends on the surface of the card, though, and the graphics look nice and clean. And they're going to give us a grade of near mint 7. That's a little lower than I thought I'd get, but that's pretty good. Let us check out this 1999 Pokemon Fossil Set Golduck, a first edition, the number 35 card. The front surface of this card is free of creases and bends. The graphics have no dirt or grime or anything that will affect the quality of the graphics. Our centering from top to bottom is towards the top. Our centering from left to right, I think, is towards the right. Looking at our corners and edges, they are free of damage. As we look at the back of the card, you can see that our centering from top to bottom is slightly towards the bottom. Our centering from left to right is towards the left. Our corners and our edges, the upper right corner and lower left corner have some slight damage. Looking at the surface of the card, it's free of bends and creases. The graphics look nice and bright. There's no damage on the graphics. And we'll receive a grade of near mint 8. That's pretty darn good. Let me show you this 1999 Pokemon Fossil Set Golem, a first edition, the number 36 card. The graphics on this are very vibrant and bright. Our surface has no creases or bends. Our centering from left to right looks quite a little bit towards the right. Our centering from top to bottom, it looks pretty close to the tolerance. Looking at our corners and edges, I don't see any damage that will affect a grade on the corners and edges. Flipping the card over and looking at the back, you can see that our centering from left to right is towards the left. Our centering from top to bottom looks pretty close to the tolerance. Looking at our corners and our edges, both right corners have some very slight damage. Looking at our surface, it's free of creases and bends, and our graphics are free of any dirt, damage, or anything that will affect the graphics. And that's going to get us a grade of near mint 8. Wow, that's pretty good. Could have been better. Check out this 1999 Pokemon Fossil Set Graveler, a first edition, the number 37 card. Look in the front of this card, you can see it's free of creases and bends. It's very clean. I don't see any problems on the front. Looking at our centering from left to right, I think that's pretty close to the tolerance. Looking at our centering from top to bottom, it's slightly towards the top. Our corners and our edges look very clean and crisp. I don't see any damage on them. As we look to the back, you can see that our corners look really nice. I don't see any damage on the edges or corners. Looking at our surface, it's free of creases and bends. There's no damage on the graphics. Looking at our centering from left to right, it's towards the right a little bit. And our centering from top to bottom might be slightly towards the top, but it's really close to the spec, I think. And we will get a grade of mint 9. I like it a lot. Hey, it's a 1999 Pokemon Fossil Set Kingler, a first edition, the number 38 card. Looking at the front of this card, the graphics are vibrant and bright. There's no creases or bends on the surface of this card. Our centering from left to right is towards the right somewhat. And looking at it from top to bottom, it's pretty close to the tolerance. Looking at the corners and edges, they're very clean with no damage on them. Let's look at the back, and as you can see, our surface is free of the bends and creases. The graphics look great. Looking at our centering from left to right, it's towards the left quite a bit, and our centering from top to bottom is really close to the tolerance. Looking at our corners and our edges, it looks like both left corners have some slight damage. And we're going to get a grade of near mint, mint 8. Not too bad for a 20-plus-year-old card. Check out this 1999 Pokemon Fossil Set Magmar, a first edition, the number 39 card. Looking at the front of this card, it looks really nice. The graphics are clean. There's no creases or bends on the surface of this card. Our centering from left to right, I think, is really close to the spec, but it might be slightly towards the right. Our top to bottom centering looks within the spec. Our corners and our edges look really nice. As you look at the back of the card, you can see that our centering from left to right might be slightly towards the left. I think it is. And our centering from top to bottom looks really good. Our surface is free of creases and bends, and the graphics look clean. Looking at our corners and our edges, I think there's a slight speck on that right edge about a third of the way down. But besides that, the rest looks really nice. And we're going to get a grade of mint 9. Magmar predicts to 9. That's awesome. This card is a 1999 Pokemon Fossil Set Omastar, first edition, the number 40 card. Looking at the front graphics of this card, they're very clean. There's no creases, bends, or scratches on the surface of the card. Our centering from left to right, I think, is slightly towards the right, and our centering from top to bottom might be slightly towards the top. Looking at our corners and edges, they're clean with no damage. Flipping the card over and looking at the back of the card, the surface is again free of damage. There's no creases or bends. Looking at our centering from left to right, it's definitely slightly towards the left. Looking at our centering from top to bottom, it's towards the top. Looking at our corners and our edges, they're pretty clean. There might be a slight speck on that lower left corner. And that's going to get us a grade of near mint, mint 8. That must have been about the centering. We are looking at a 1999 Pokemon Fossil Set Sandslash, a first edition, the number 41 card. The front of this card looks free of creases, bends, or scratches. The graphics look bright. Our centering from top to bottom is definitely towards the top. Centering from left to right looks pretty close to tolerance, maybe slightly towards the left. And our corners or edges are free of damage, and that won't affect the grade. Here's the back of the card, and our surface is free of any damage like creases or bends or dirt. Looking at our centering from left to right, it looks towards the left a little bit. Our centering from top to bottom looks pretty close to the tolerance. Looking at our corners and our edges, there's some slight damage on that upper left corner. And we'll receive a grade of mint 9. Wow, I like the 9s. 10s will be better though. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and the cards that I displayed and showed you. Please like and subscribe. And remember, always remember, you got to catch them all. Have a great afternoon.